Are you a pro wrestling fan? Then odds are at some point in your life, you were a backyard wrestler. In this new series, I'm going to take you through how we came from this to this. It's a long story, covering nearly 2 decades. But if you're a nostalgic person missing the backyard days of yesteryear and a simpler time of the 90s and early 2000s, this is the story for you. This is Backyard Wrestling Cinema. Welcome to Backyard Wrestling Cinema Season 2, Episode number 11. On our last show, we established the number one contender for the World Championship, and hence, we had our main event for our next pay-per-view. The match that was scheduled was the World Champion myself, who wrestled as Denver Street, taking on TJ Money, who is now the B4W Hardcore Champion. In fact, he had defeated me for that Hardcore title on the last show, so we proved to everybody that he had the stuff to beat the World Champion. The US title was on the line as Tommy Thunder took on the Beast.
Tommy Thunder going on, just getting body slam.
Now, the Beast was brought in by Tommy Thunder on the last show, and he was unlike anybody we had in the promotion at the time. And when I say promotion, I'm using that term loosely. It's a backyard wrestling company. I get it. Don't know what else to call it. But he was unique just because of his size. He was so much bigger than all of us. And for a big guy, he moved pretty well. Now, at the time, we're 16, 17. He's still got the agility and the youthful energy that we all had. We would even do a thing where every time he would fall, our cameraman, who was typically Mr. Benjamin's, would do this camera shake. Like, every time he fell, it was shaking the ground. And it was little nuances like that that made his character, the Beast, stand out. Tommy Thunder got the win in this one, but afterwards, he made sure to have the Beast give him a choke slam to sort of keep his heat and keep the mystique about the Beast alive, and keep his aura a little bit. Afterwards, the Beast came to the back and demanded a hardcore title shot from me. Now, at the time, I was the company owner on camera, so he demanded a hardcore title shot, and with a guy that big, I certainly was not going to say no. Now, before TJ Money had won the hardcore title, Cobain had earned the number one contendership for the hardcore title as well. And we only did that as an impromptu fix because Cobain was supposed to win a match and he just forgot to kick out. So we had to add some kind of stipulation so we could recut the match and sort of make it make sense in the angle we were trying to do. It didn't really make sense. So now we were in a position where Cobain had to win the hardcore title from our number one contender, and looking back at it, it just drives me insane because we have Cobain beat TJ Money cleanly.
This is insane! This isn't right! Oh, tombstone pile driver! Oh, over the deck! That's 5 foot 10 inches in diameter! Diameter? Right! Oh, big split! 1, 2! How did he kick out of 12 gauge twice? Oh! And the third time, 1, 2, 3! That was the third!
He just beats him, and this is the guy who's supposed to be fighting for the world title. I didn't interfere, nobody interfered. At the time, I already knew I was on the show too much, and I was trying to cut myself out a bit, but I really could have been out there for this one to at least cost TJ Money the match. Whatever, it's backyard wrestling, and it's 20 years ago, but it still bothers me. Now, as I said in the last episode, at this time we had changed the Unified Championship back to just calling it the World Title. I took on TLD, who was probably the least popular wrestler on our roster, and I won.
Street sweeper! That should be it, folks! Come on! 1, 2, 3, and your winner, the World Champion, still Canadian, and still talking trash to BWL, Denver Street!
And when I say TLD was unpopular, it's just because of this air of arrogance that he had about him that really rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And that would become a problem for him down the road in the future. Mr. Benjamins took on Rico DMF, our current TV champion, in a non-title match.
It should say Moonball.
And if you know anything about non-title matches, you know that if you go in there with a non-title match, the other guy's winning. The champion will not win that match.
Reverse it, see him! Oh, sets him up! Reverse it again! Benjamizer! 1, 2, 9, Benjamin's just defeated!
Now, this is the era of wrestling where there's reversals into reversals, and that was like a big thing. And we were hitting our stride with that shit. Let me tell you that much. Benjamin's got the win in this one. All of us were really starting to get into those big match reversal after reversal after reversal into the finish kind of thing. Next up was myself as Denver Street taking on Slug. We were also in that era of German suplexes. Don't think that was a Brock Lesnar thing. I mean, back in 2002, 2003, that was a big thing in professional wrestling. I got the win after a vertebreaker, which I had no business doing at that time. And anybody watching this, if you're doing backyard wrestling, do it safe. Do not do stupid things like that. After the show, we did this thing where Rico threw up a graphic saying, hey, stay tuned for another 2 minutes. We got something special for you. And it was our first version of the Limp Bizkit My Way song set to music from our stuff. And it wasn't our best music video. I think we were just on the cusp of starting to create something really good. In fact, when we created our official, My Way opening video, I think I had to go to public access 10 different 2-hour trips. So it was 20 hours of editing. And that's just for this, minute 30-second video. I can't play it here because YouTube will just take the video down. But here's alternate audio on top of that video. And you can see all the little mistakes and stuff like that. The play icon in the top right corner, all stuff we would have to fix in the future when we went to make our more professional looking opening video in the future. Clearly, we were on the path. We were editing better. Our show was getting better. We were filling out the show with vignettes. Our roster was getting bigger. There was new people every single week. Storylines were progressing. We were building towards big cards. And there was drama right on the horizon. The very fabric of B4W was about to be torn in half as myself and Ricky got closer and closer to a real-life war. And it's all coming up here on Backyard Wrestling Cinema.
Cars are dueling on a rough and cruddy highway. And, oh my God! Wow. He waffled him out of the toaster there!